He's enchanting audiences worldwide.
More than 18 million social media followers, over 700 million views on YouTube.
The first stand-up show at Madison Square Garden, completely in Hindi.
Zakir Khan, the boy from Indore, now belongs to the world stage.
फैशन तुझे नहीं पता है ना स्टाइल का सब तेरे पूरे खानदान में किसी को नहीं आता तेरी खुद की शर्ट तो तुझे उसने लाके दी है तेरे को लगता है वो अपनी ड्रेस तेरे से पूछ के लेगी नहीं नो
Really, if there is a person who genuinely defines the creator economy and is a guiding light to many people, older, younger, all across India and the world, it is Zakir Khan.
Zakir Khan! Zakir Khan!
Studio 700 at CBC Vancouver. I am Stephen Quinn, and we're coming to you live as we prepare to welcome a very special guest. 6 weeks ago, he completed an historic night at New York's Madison Square Garden. He was the first act to perform a full stand-up set there, completely in Hindi. And now he's bringing his North American tour here to Vancouver. Around the world, hundreds of millions of people have enjoyed his comedy online. And you 40 lucky people who are here with us in studio today will be seeing him in person. So please, make some noise and welcome to the stage, Zakir Khan. So great to see you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, I'm very excited.
How are you feeling?
A little nervous because English is not my first language.
I think you'll manage just fine with what we've talked about so far.
Yes, I was practicing, so don't think that...
Is that what you were using? That you were using me for that backstage, were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was not a real conversation. I was just trying to...
Gosh, because you were so nice then. It's so great to meet you, seriously. And such a pleasure to have you here. You've got 2 shows in Vancouver tomorrow.
Yes.
And you have been on tour for how long now?
It's been 3 months. I want to go back home. Like everybody else, right?
You said that on Instagram. You said that you were getting homesick after this. This tour has been, what, 3 months now?
Yeah, it's been like quite a long trip. And I think that's the reason why home is nostalgia plus your cultural comfort.
Right.
That's what makes a home.
Right.
You know, and there is a reason why birds have a nest. You know, they are free; they can rest anywhere. But there's a reason why you go back to the same location. So I think it's been a while, and I would like to spend some time with my parents, my friends, my family, brothers.
I thought that, I guess anybody who's on the road that long would want to be doing that.
Yeah.
You have performed here in Vancouver before.
Yes, I have.
Okay, about 2 years ago, maybe?
2.5 years ago, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and I absolutely love Vancouver audience, especially there's so much of warmth and pride in Vancouver citizens that they have the prettiest city, though they have only ruined it by their contribution. But still, so I love the pride they have. They walk with this pride that we are from BC, and and I absolutely love it.
No, it's my adopted home too. I'm not from here originally as well. Again, and so this is the latest stop on your North American tour. How much further do you go on this tour?
I think this is the last show.
This is the last.
Thank you very much for love and support.
That's great.
I got the fish out of here.
As soon as the last show's done, you're gone. Tell me about, you packed Madison Square Garden. So you're talking about 20,000 people. To see a comedian who is doing a show in Hindi, what does that tell you about, where we are, where you are in your career, and the kind of, worldwide audience you can draw now?
I think it's also something that, how do I put it? it's who decides what's big and what is small, right? Or what is enough for me? God has been very kind in giving me. Why should I stay in my lane? So, when He is not, when God is not shying away from giving me these things, why should I shy away from asking? So that's been journey from last 12 years, and I keep asking for more, and He gives me more. Though of course I need to push myself harder.
Yes.
But when you do something iconic like a Toronto show as well, like we did 2 shows, had 26,000 people at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, and all of these moments are not just about me, but they are also culturally very significant.
Yeah.
Is also giving space to the community I come from, to the people I belong to. There's a sense of belonging. That's why I ask everybody to come dress up in their cultural attire, because the visual of 20,000 people getting out of that place and making space for themselves and for the community is what I live for. And that's why these things are so iconic to me personally, and for everybody who is part of that.
And what does that feel like to you, to be doing an arena show like that, looking out at all of that? I mean, we see the graphic here that we have with you on stage, but what does it feel like to you, knowing that you brought all those people together?
Yeah, it's very overwhelming every time. It's when you think of it, you don't imagine something like this happening to you, right? And when it is happening, it is at the same time very surreal, but also there's a show to be done.
Yeah.
The experience has to be top-notch. What they have come for has to be fulfilled. It has to be above par, their expectation, especially when you're a popular artist. There's a continuous thread in, it's a common sentiment that it's not that great, he was good earlier, right? That's everybody who's popular lives with this. That is not good enough now, he used to be good before.
He used to be better. Your first record was way better.
Yes, right. So every time they are listening you again, you have to beat that mindset, this preconceived notion with them that no, you are the greatest of all time, you're still doing it, and you're far better than what you actually know me. So that also has to happen while you are very overwhelmed in this crowd. And yeah, it's
But that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself.
Yeah, but then there's a lot of credit. It's also very sexy to do arts. It's not, yeah, that's what I get paid for, to deal with it. It's like being a sports person.
Yes.
It's match day, you're under a lot of pressure, and still you strike because that's what you get paid for. Yeah. That's what experience is.
Your experience, much of your comedy is hooked into, family and domestic situations and that sort of thing. You're talking about, all kinds of issues. Does that come from your own experience?
Well, it has to. Also, I am somebody who's very attached to my family, and have spent a lot of time with my family, friends, and my extended family, because in India, we have this concept of joint family. Mm-hmm. All our cousins live together, all our uncles live together. Even now, when everybody's trying to live their separate life independently, still, in India, there's an idea or concept. Even here in Vancouver or in Toronto, people still try to find, houses close by to each other.
Yes.
So that the sense of unity is there, sense of... So I have been brought up in that kind of a community, in that kind of setup, and that has really helped me, shaped me as a person. And you will always talk about the experience you've lived with. You will not go out of it, right? For example, some actor has become multimillionaire at the age of 40. In his every interview, he will only talk about the more years when he was shaping up. His major experiences will come from there only.
Yeah.
Similarly, my major experiences come from being part of such a large family, and to understand the relationship. My politics is more inwards than outwards.
Right.
Right. And understanding the nitty-gritties of how I feel, what and when. And that is what I wanted to solve, and that is what I'm working on.
We're going to get ready with an audience question in just a moment. I think somebody's going to bring someone up to the microphone. Yeah. In the meantime, your family was not the only You know, you got a lot of support from your family, obviously.
Yes.
You got a lot of support from other comedians as well. Hassan Minhaj wrote that your combination of storytelling and poetry, he said, elevates comedy to a place he has never seen before. What does that kind of response mean to you?
It means wonders to me because I'm a huge fan of Hassan. I admire him a lot. Like, he's one of the comedians I look up to. And coming from my ideals, something like that really makes me very happy and motivates me to work harder. And he was kind enough to bring me on stage in New York. And so I would like to also mention Russell Peters.
Yes.
You know, I'm sorry, I'll pick it up.
That's me.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Trust me, I'm better than this. Even in this, on this trip, I've missed 9 flights. So I'm great at this.
And so Russell Peters was also one of the people supporting you.
Yeah. And you know, these people are very kind, and that's what comedy is, a very small community.
Yeah.
And it's when you see, another thing, there are no surprises in comedy. There's hardly any surprises. Like, you look at a boy or a girl, you're like, yeah, this guy. Right? So I think that's what they did. They saw me, they're like, this guy. So they're like, yeah, if you need anything, we'll help you. So, you know, Russell and his brother Clayton, they have been such a guiding force for me.
Yeah.
They helped me so much. And, you know, especially flying from, like, you know, coast to coast for just to welcome me on stage. And it was like a lot of effort from Russell also in Toronto. And so when these things happen, when they say kind words, it really motivates you. It feels like you have a community sense of belonging to this space.
Yeah.
You know, this is not my country. I'm traveling, I'm visiting. And, you know, when you see helping hands, and that's what I think, that's what we all need, right? We all need somebody who looks into our eyes and assures us that things will be fine. You got me. We have you. Right, and that's what these guys do to me.
We have a question from one of our audience members. Go ahead, please, sir.
Hello.
Know how you humbly deal with fame, a lot of fame, but how does your parents deal with it, and how your relatives have changed before it and after it? Because we all have came from the same joint family system, so.
Excellent question. Thank you for that one.
First of all, my parents are very arrogant about it. No, that's just a joke. I think I am just like 30% of what my parents want me to be in terms of being humble. I remember last year, one of my managers came to my house and we were working on whiteboard to the amount of money we'll be making and the things we'll be doing and the numbers and everything. And my father, while passing, he heard it. So for 2 days, he just kept looking at me and just smirking at me. So I thought that I'm sure he has something to say. So I stopped him after 2 days. I'm like, you want to say something? And he just went like, just wanted to tell you that popularity is very normal and a lot of people get popular.
That sounds like such a dad thing to say.
I'm like, and they're like, yeah, you're not the only one who's becoming popular. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, just letting you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's how. So they make sure so that's why everybody's like, how are you so humble? My parents make sure that they insult me enough so that I never. So that's how you roll. That's how you fly.
All right, let's go to another question from our audience. Yes, sir.
Sure. So first of all, I'm going to call you Bhai because I don't know, it feels like I've met you before. So,
Thank you,
Zakir Bhai, I have a question in
I'm
Hindi.
most comfortable with that, by the way.
Perfect. Then Zakir Bhai, I have a question for you in Hindi that says कि अगर जिंदगी में किसी से कुछ सीखना हो तो उसे क्या पूछना चाहिए?
वाकई में बहुत अच्छा सवाल है आपका. किसी से भी अगर कुछ सीखना है ना तो उनके पास बैठिए चुपचाप और उनसे पूछिए कि आपने कैसे किया है. The question is that if you want to learn something from someone,
yes,
what should you ask them?
Oh, that's
So I've told them that
question.
Just sit next to them and just ask them that how you have dealt with your life. You know, you don't need to ask your questions. Learn how they deal with it. Because it's like, you know, life is not ready-made clothes. It's a stitched coat. It has to be your size, you know. So you can hear someone how they dealt with it, and you can take notes, but you will still have to apply the decision will have to be yours. You will have to do your thing. So you can learn a lot, but you will have to apply on your life. So yeah.
Thank you. How would you describe the difference between you grew up in Indore?
Yeah.
How would you describe the difference between growing up there and where you are now?
I think that's something which is very, because till 2010 I was in Indore, I was unemployed. I used to visit I was in Delhi, I used to visit my home very frequently. And imagine this boy just eating lunch in afternoon, unemployed, 23-year-old, right? Watching television and just looking at people on television. They're like, if I go there, I would just kill it. Zero chances of being there.
Yeah.
So, that city has shaped me so much, and my friends there believe in me so much that tomorrow if you tell me that I'm running for the president of, like, say, Canada, and I'm getting married to XYZ actress, my friends in Indore will never, even blink. They will just immediately start packing their bags for the wedding. So because over the years, because I come from such a low-income group background, that they have seen this turn on so many levels and so many times in life that they now have blind faith. So all these people make that city for me, and it's really amazing. It's overwhelming when you come to Mumbai, or when you travel so much, because you're traveling first class, you're staying in 5 stars, you're staying in the best hotels. And I used to work in a hotel in Indore, and it was like a 3-star, 4-star hotel, and I used to play in a restaurant like a musician.
Yeah.
I was a musician. I was a young musician. I used to play sitar.
Yes.
So every month I had to go and give my bill, my monthly salary bill. So that was the only day I used to come through the main door of the hotel, right? Because every day else I used to take the back door. And I used to be so ready if somebody stops me, that why I'm here, that I've just come to submit the bill. That was always on my tongue, that I was ready. Nobody asked me.
Yeah.
But I was always ready for, I've just come, because, I never thought that I belong to the main lobby of this hotel. And cut to this life, so it feels surreal, it feels very dreamy, but I'm trying to cope with it. Yeah.
I think we call that here imposter complex, where you feel like you don't belong, and that's kind of in many ways what ends up driving you.
Yeah, I think I deal with it. Why can't I get more? And is this even mine? So I'm a little greedy that way. So it's not fully imposters.
And what kind of things do you find every day that help you cope with all of this, with the fame, the busy life, the pressure you feel to make every show better than the last?
I think it's just that I'll give you a couple of incidents that this is, as an artist, your life is more about the things you don't do, and but as a popular person, the choices you don't make. Do you follow cricket at all? No, right?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
My whole argument will fall. How do I explain this? Okay, I'll still go ahead with it, whoever understands cricket. So if you make a century, you will be remembered for the runs you've scored, but the runs you score is not just because of the balls you've hit for 6s and 4s. It's majorly because of the balls you've left. You've not touched. So as a popular artist, it's a lot of choices you don't make that shape you. So that's why, I get offers for very silly things, and the money is way bigger beyond to what I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. And there was something which was it was a big dilemma between me and my managers, because the money was very good, and I didn't morally aligned with it. And then we were in a coffee shop, let's say. It was a chai ki dukaan par. It was a chai store, just for your understanding, as you don't understand cricket as well. So
I know.
I'll say, let's say Tim Hortons.
I'm still stuck on 6s and 4s over here.
So we were there, and this 19-year-old, very thin, lanky boy, and he's like, Zakir bhai, he calls me brother, and he's like, can I take a picture? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So he takes out his, the brand, his dress, his whatever, he changes his clothes, immediately comes. It's, just very thin 19-year-old, he's not even a proper mustache. And he sits next to me, and he's like, I watch all your interviews and your work, and I don't have a father and I don't have an elder brother, so I look up to you, and whatever you say, I base my life on that. I cannot betray this boy. I work for him, and that's what drives me every day.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Let's go to another question from the audience if we can. Yes, please.
Hello, Zakir Bhai.
Hello.
What do you have to say to the young people out of the line you have said in one of the stand-up you have done? You said there are two things, manpasand or sahi. When you start doing manpasand cheeze, ignoring the manpasand cheeze and you start doing sahi, it means you have grown up and your childhood has been died. What do you have to say out of it to the young people who are coming abroad?
That's true. I still stand by that.
Yeah.
That's how it is. So in one of my stand-ups, there's this quote where I say that, there's something you'll really like to do, and something you should be doing.
Yes.
And more you start picking what you should be doing, that means that you're growing up and your childhood is dying.
That's difficult for people. Did you go through that, though, yourself?
Do you want to be here right now, right? This is the things you're supposed to do, right? We all given a choice, we would be at beach,
but
right?
This is
Not
also
working.
the thing I want to do.
Yeah,
I'm very
just
lucky
kidding.
that way.
I'm just joking,
Yeah.
that's like... that's the worst part of being a comedian, that...
I started taking you seriously. I shouldn't do that.
That's the luxury I have. I can switch anytime. Yeah, I was joking, Stephen.
Okay, I have to ask you this, because you call yourself, and I've had this explained to me by many people so far, Sakht Launda.
Yeah.
Now, what is your interpretation of what Sakht Launda means?
I have never cleared I have never cleared it. Let me clarify that for the first time. So when you try to engage romantically with people at a certain age, when you're available and when emotionally vulnerable, a lot of people will take advantage of you by just, creating that kind of energy between you and push you to do things in their favor, which they actually don't mean. Right? And there's no record of that betrayal. There's no document of that. That somebody just this very good-looking boy just talking to this below-average girl, like, hey, hi, what's up? Can you write these notes for me? Right, and you will be like, yeah, you think there's something in it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I tell, and that's what I've been living. But that it's Sakht Launda means because it was about me, so it's a hard boy, but it's a genderless concept.
Okay.
So what I am trying to preach is that don't fall for people who don't mean it. So the line is that a Sakht person will not fall for anyone. For a Sakht person, it's like hard person, right? So you have to melt it.
Yes.
So I will not melt for any random person. I will melt for a person who gives me equal warmth and enough love and enough commitment. So that's what that means. I think I answered.
Very good. Thank you. Another question from our audience. Please go ahead.
Hello, Zakir Bhai.
Hello.
Yeah, so I would like to ask one question. So what advice would you give to someone who's written jokes but hasn't performed yet? Or how to write better jokes without performing? Or how to get validation for their written work?
I think it's very difficult. If you are just into writing, then you should write articles and blogs and not think of performing stand-up, because these are two completely different art forms. Comedy is the only art form which required performance practice.
Okay.
Rest, every art form can be practiced at home. This is the only art form which you have to go in front of people, get humiliated, come back again, do it again, and get better. Yeah. So this is, a lot of people think they are very funny when they write it at home, but it's a very different ball game. It's like, it's like playing alone with a hanging ball, the cricket, knocking the ball, and then playing a match.
Yeah.
So comedy is all about stage practice. So you should, if you're not looking to perform, then you should try to write articles, books, comics. That would really work, because it's a one-to-one medium between the reader and the reader and the writer. It's very exclusive. But comedy, stand-up comedy is a performing art, which is between you and thousands of people, or whatever the room is. So it had to be, like, that's the only option you have. You'll have to perform. So don't be ashamed. Don't try in front of mirror. It doesn't work. You have to go in front of people.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. What is it like working in comedy right now with everything that we've seen going on in the world? Late night talk show hosts in America being attacked for things they've said, being shut down for things they've said.
It's developing, and we're also watching it.
Yeah.
I'm also observing it. We are also taking in. We are also understanding it. As a profession, the needle is moving in a direction we have never seen before. And in terms of all, and especially with comedy, because comedy is being popular without, too much of clout.
Mm-hmm.
So attacking comedians is the most safest thing you can do. So you get enough clout, you get enough name as well, and you can shut them down, so it's a victory for you as well.
Yes.
But we don't have clouts like politicians. Politicians will say the most shittiest thing and still get away with it, right? But with comedians, because we are less in power, we don't have much power, so it's much easier. It's a perceived power.
Right.
It's a self-inflicted power that, we have so many audiences, we have mic in the hand. That's not real. It doesn't work. So, we were felt that we had a lot of power. And right now, then I'll take a leaf out of this very famous show called Game of Thrones, where once in one of the episodes, somebody says knowledge is power, and the queen arrests him and asks the soldier to behead his head, and then releases him. This happens within 3 seconds. Arrest him, behead him, stop it, release him. Right? And she walks up to him and says, power is power. So I think we are living in a time where power is power, so they are going with full force. And we are, as a comedian, I'm also observing, everybody else is observing. That's what we talk within community.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see where it goes. I think it will take another 5-6 years to settle down. And then we'll exactly know what is allowed, what is not allowed, and we'll navigate. But we cannot leave spaces. We'll still have to do whatever we feel like, and whoever is representing whatever have to do it.
Right. For those sorts of comedians, the comedians that handle a lot of political material, it's, often I think of it as the last place that you can hear the truth, because it's, satire, making fun of something is, it cuts to the heart of the issue.
Yeah, true.
You don't do any political comedy at all.
No,
you stay away from that.
It's like, asking a jazz musician, why don't you do rock? So you like jazz, go to jazz concert. It's an art form. It doesn't have to be, everybody doesn't have to do everything, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's that there are very brave comedians in India and abroad and world over who are doing very brave content and doing political satire. It's their thing. It's not my thing. I will feel someday and want to do it, something like that, but not right now. So I do stories. I do stories, and that's my thing.
Right. Do you worry about a clampdown on free speech?
As an artist, yeah, of course. You are India is more sensitive than you guys are, and let me say that. Yeah, we are far ahead of what you guys seeing. We've already seen all of this, so I'm just trying to be nice to you guys so that you don't feel bad. But we've seen all of this. We've gone through this. That's
why it's going to last for the next 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
So it will take some time for you guys to be okay. We know everything, what is allowed, what is not allowed. We try to navigate through that. So yeah,
okay.
Take 5 more years and then deal with it.
I don't know why I'm laughing at this, but I'm laughing at. Go ahead,
Trust
please.
me, you will not when you.
No. Go ahead, please. We have another question from the audience.
Here. A question about success, about luck versus your own hard work. So how much of your own success do you attribute to luck versus your own hard work? You were talking about your missed flights on the trip, but आपकी success life में तो बहुत अच्छा लग चल रहा है, I guess. But how would you analyze it?
फिर से सवाल एक बार पूछते मुझे समझ नहीं आया.
Just attributing your own success based on how much you've gotten based on your luck versus your own hard work, like how much you put in versus what God gives automatically. You were talking about it earlier. Just a bit more percentage-wise?
Got it. I think I'll. It's a little boring answer, but if everybody's up for it, I will still try to. So you work hard. So everything is provided by grace to you. It's the God who will give you. It's just the being, the existence, the universe will give it to you. You work hard so that you have the capability to handle what has been given to you.
That makes sense.
So, so you keep working hard, and also a big part of my success is also the failures I have gone through. Imagine I was looking for a job in Indore as a radio jockey, and if I would have got that, life would be so easy and different for me. Imagine when I was in radio station and employed there for 5 years, and they thought my voice was not good enough to be on radio in Delhi, and I was just like one of the back-end writers for that job for 5 years. Imagine if that would have turned out for me. So all these failures have brought me here. So success is just a part of it, but the journey is through the failures. But the only thing you do is never stop. Good day, hard work, bad day, hard work, feeling tired, work hard. Just keep going, make it a thing about. You cannot be depending on this. That's why I don't like event-based life. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I want to clear this exam, and then life is never going to be easy for you. Mm-hmm. The only thing you have to do is be consistently, just keep knocking the doors, and one day you will reach somewhere you have never imagined for yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
I have to say I'm not really thrilled that your definition of failure is working at a radio station, but that's a whole other thing.
No, not being. No, my definition of failure was not being able to do what you do.
I understand.
You realize I'm very jealous of you right now.
I'm very jealous. You want to switch for a little while? I have to work on my Hindi. You mentioned earlier on that you have some musical talent as well, because making people laugh is not the only thing that you do. You have another talent entirely. I just want people to have a look at this. That is just amazing. You really know how to play that thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have given 19 years of my life to that instrument.
Wow.
I started playing when I was 4, and I quit at 23. So.
Why did you quit?
It didn't feel like. I didn't. Yeah. It felt like a homework to me,
Yeah.
And I remember in 12th standard, which was the last year of my school, like high school.
Yeah.
And back then, there was no internet much prevalent. So we used to have slam books where all your classmates, your favorite people would write their names and their hobbies. And because I come from a musical family, one of my very close friends wrote his hobby. And hobby is something you do in your free time, right?
Yes.
And he wrote listening to music. And I was so shocked that why would someone listen to music in their free time? Because for me, coming from a musical family, I was like, because that was part of my training.
Yeah.
So I never looked at music as a free thing, as a leisure thing. So it was like a lot of work for me.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of relation I had with music. But now I think I have reconciled with it. Like how you're so pissed at your parents, and then you move abroad, and you're like... And then you're like, yeah, they were fine. I think they were okay. Oh, my parents were great. Oh, they struggled so much. You grow into it.
Yes.
So I think I have, again, it's been just like during pandemic, I started listening to music again after 10 years.
A lot of people did.
Yeah.
We all did.
Yeah.
We listened to sad music.
Yeah. I was listening to classical Indian music, but yeah. So I reconciled with music, and whenever there's a very difficult old song where people hum and meet me at a party, and I'm so surprised with it, I'm like, I know because I was learning. Why were you going through this torture?
When you were growing up, I mean, what kind of what was life like around you? Were you, at school, did you have lots of friends? Were you a popular kid? Were you a funny kid? Were you the class clown?
No, I was not. I was still 7th standard. I was not.
Oh.
I think my life turned after 6th. I saw this movie where this guy was very underconfident and could not construct sentences, and I thought this is what my future is going to be. And in that movie, he has a mentor, and I realized that I will never have a mentor. Like, I will not have access to anything like that. So I will have to change. And that was my penny drop moment. And it was my summer vacation. I bought 3 joke books, like full books, fat joke books. I read all of them. And that just gave me a sense of joke and timing, and flip and the rhythm of joke. And then when I went to school and I started cracking jokes, I saw that funny people have space.
Yeah.
And they are seen. Before that, I was an invisible kid. So after that, anytime I talk about bullying, I talk till 6th. After that, it really changed for me.
There are children today who are in that situation where they're getting bullied. They feel like they don't fit in. They feel like they're not doing well compared to their friends. Well, what advice would you have for those kids?
I don't have an advice for them.
No,
there's no advice for them. That's right. The advice is for the teachers and the parents. The advice is to the parents who think that their kid is very cool. Unless you treat every kid of the community as your own, then only you realize what bullying is, because it comes from the home they are. They learn from the home they are. They learn how to treat others and people who are lower in power from their homes and not in schools. That's the advice is for them. It's not for the kids.
Yeah.
You cannot give an advice to somebody who's beaten, somebody who's a victim. Right. I don't understand why people keep asking, like, not you, but in general, there's a culture like, what do you want to say? The people who's beaten, bruised, cannot stand on his feet, is been bullied every day. There's no advice for him. The advice is for the other guy the advice is not for the victim, it's for the perpetrator, right? For the bully and his parents. And it's every time a kid is bullied, the system, humanity, the society fails every day, every time a child is bullied. I have been bullied, a lot of us have been bullied, and it is not our fault, and we are not supposed to feel guilty about it, that, I could have dealt with it. No.
Yeah.
It was somebody else's job, and they didn't do their job properly.
Thank you. Another question from the audience.
Yes. Stephen, this is more for context, that he's, like, the way we introduce him as the LeBron James of Indian stand-up. I'll explain why. Because he's been constantly dominating over the decades in his art form. His art form has kind of become a legacy. It's gotten into its own dictionary. And he's consistently kind of raising the ceiling of what success means for an Indian stand-up comedian. So my question is now, since you've already done Madison Square Garden, Scotiabank, etc., what next?
So I'll tell you something. So your life, I will always say, my life is like a traveler. I stay in a 5-star, thank you very much. I stay in a motel, thank you very much. What is important for me is that I keep moving. I go back to India, I will perform in Bikaner, I will go to Amravati. I'll try to take comedy. My idea is to not just to bring Indian comedy to the Vancouvers and Winnipegs and the Madison Square Gardens and the climate change arena of Seattle, but to also take it to the Amravatis, to Ahmednagar, to Solapur, Kolhapur, to Jabalpur, to Indore, to Bhopal, to Ujjain, to these cities as well, to just experience, God has given me this opportunity to take my art form to places. I will continue doing that, That's what I was telling you in the previous question, that I don't like the event life, that, one day I want to do Madison. What do I do tomorrow? So as a traveler, you keep moving.
That's kind of a lovely thing to wrap on, and unfortunately we do have to wrap, but I have one last question for you, which is, for anybody in Canada who is tuning in right now and doesn't really, know you, or feels like they haven't gotten to know you yet, even through this, what is something you would like people to know about yourself?
I think I love, if you're listening to me, you're in Canada and you're in Vancouver around, I'm performing tomorrow in Vancouver, so come to the show. Also, I am missing Indian food. if yeah, dosas, biryanis, anything, if you can bring to the show tomorrow, that will be really helpful. Don't care about me. If you don't want to know me, that's fine. Just send food to me. That's what I was looking for. No, I would say like I think I don't know, man. I think I have not thought about it. So that's the only thing I've not.
You haven't thought about it?
About this? How do I introduce myself? I think I don't know how to be introduced, but I know how I want to go from this world. That's what I'm looking for.
Wow.
When people see the ticker that Zakir Khan died, that should be a feeling that he helped me in my life. He was part of my life. He said, that's what I'm.
That's very beautiful. It is such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for doing this with us. We really appreciate it. And thank you to our wonderful audience and the very, very insightful questions. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Stephen. This pleasure is all mine. You were so lovely and kind to me. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Zakir Khan.